This video is about peer editing. When we do peer editing, we focus on a couple of things. One is mechanics. This is usually what we think of. This is like checking grammar, spelling, paragraph format, things like that. The other is content. The content, is the information good? Is it well supported? Are there good sources of information? So why do we do peer editing? The first thing is, well, anyone can do it. It doesn't matter if you're good at English or not good at English, if you're really good at grammar or not so great at grammar, you can still give some feedback and some help for your friends. The second thing is, reading other people's writing makes us better writers. We can see different styles and techniques that people might use and maybe incorporate those same styles and techniques in our writing. Third, it helps others improve their writing. That is the main purpose of peer editing, is to give feedback and help your friends. Fourth, and probably the most important thing, is it's really difficult to see our own mistakes. I teach English, and there are several times where I will make a typing error or something like that. It's just because it's very difficult to see your own mistakes. And five, since it is difficult to see your own mistakes, even professional writers have editors. Even professional writers, the best writers there are, they have other people read their works because they can get feedback from that. There are three basic steps for peer editing. The first step is to compliment. Say something you like. The second step is to make suggestions. What do you think maybe the person can change about their paper? And then the third thing is to make corrections. The first step is compliments. Compliments basically mean saying good job about something. So here's where you stay positive. You want to tell the writer what parts you found very interesting or fun, what parts were written in a really clever way, maybe a part that put a nice image in your head. But here you want to stay positive and say what you liked. Some phrases you might use for a compliment is just to say, I liked it when you used the word, or my favorite part was this because I like the way you, something like that. These are basic phrases that you can use to just say, I like this part of your paper. Let's look at this example about my hometown, Seattle. It says, Seattle is my favorite place in the world. I like it because it is so much fun. There are a lot of things to do and places to go. I go out almost every weekend day with my friends and have a great time. Seattle is also beautiful. Everything is too nice to look at. I often forget how amazing the scenery in Seattle is. Because Seattle is so much fun and it is beautiful, I love it. So let's look at a couple of things we can compliment about for this paragraph. Well, one thing maybe is there is a lot of excitement here. You can see that the writer really loves their hometown, Seattle. Second thing maybe is the topic sentence was pretty clear. Seattle is my favorite place in the world. That's a pretty clear topic sentence. I understand the topic and the controlling idea very clearly there. The second step is to make a suggestion. Now, if you can, try to say pretty positive still, but you want to be very specific about your suggestions. So here, suggestions usually look more at like the word choice or parts that were unclear, things you want to know more about, maybe parts that were too long, things like this. There are several things we can look at when we're making suggestions. The first thing could be topic. Does the writer stick to the same topic throughout their paragraph? Is their purpose also very clear, and is it consistent throughout the writing? The second aspect we can look at is organization. Is it organized? Does it follow a logical order? And when you read it, does it have a nice flow of information? Also, does it have all the necessary parts? Is there an introduction with the parts of the introduction? Do the body paragraphs have topic sentences and supporting details? And is there a concluding paragraph also? We want to make sure everything is organized and flows nicely. The third aspect we can look at is maybe sentences, word choice, like sentence structure. Do they just use simple sentence, simple sentence, simple sentence, or are they using a variety of different sentences? Some simple, some compound, some complex sentences, and so on. Also the word choice. Do they use the same word over and over again? Do they say big, 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 big? Or are they using different words? Big, large, enormous, gigantic. These are things that can really help the writing, and a good spot for you to make some suggestions for your friend. The last aspect we're going to look at are the details. Now, did the writer use varied supporting evidence? What that means is, do they just use an example, 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 example throughout their whole body paragraphs? Or do they use different forms of evidence? Do they sometimes give a definition, sometimes statistics, sometimes other facts? How varied is the evidence that they provide? And is the purpose easy to understand? I use that word a lot in this class because for writing it's very important. Do you stick to the purpose? Does all your evidence support your purpose? If we're looking at this example writing again, there's a lot of suggestions we can make. You can say, what is fun? You tell me Seattle is fun, but what exactly is fun? There's no image in my head. You said there are a lot of things to do and places to go, but what do you actually do? Where do you go? What do you look at? You say it's so beautiful, the scenery is great. So what is the scenery that you're looking at? And why is it so amazing? So here there's many sentences and I get a feel for the excitement of the author, but there aren't very many details. So something like this needs to have a lot more details for the reader. The third step for peer editing are corrections. Corrections is usually what we want to do first because it's the easiest thing for us to see. Corrections are things like spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, punctuation, incomplete sentences, formatting mistakes, things like this. We can easily see when there's a spelling mistake or something like that. That's why usually that's what we focus on when we do peer editing. And sometimes we forget the other two steps. If we look at this example paragraph just one more time, we made some corrections. So the first one where it says weekend day, just take out day. The second one where it says everything is too nice to look at, well, maybe we want to change it to everything is very nice to look at. We might not want to use the word so because so is already used twice in this paragraph. After that, we can look at Seattle. Seattle was misspelt before. There was only one T before. And maybe the last sentence, we can add a couple of commas. So we made a few grammatical word changes for this paragraph. But there's just a few things to remember. Remember to try to stay positive. Okay, everyone makes mistakes. It's not a big deal, but make sure you stay positive to the person, not just saying this is horrible or terrible. Say, this is not bad, but maybe try to do this. Also be specific. Be specific at what you want to see them change. And use all three steps. Actually make compliments. Find something that you like. Make a suggestion. What are some things that maybe could make it a little more interesting or easier for the reader to understand? And then make some basic corrections.